And thank you to the witnesses. I concur with the comments about how inspirational this testimony has been. One of the issues that I've discussed since I joined this committee early last year was how we can do a better job educating the public about the benefits of space exploration and research. And I know you've touched on this somewhat, but I have to say that particularly now in a challenging budget time, when all of these things we're talking about have a price tag, how do we do a better job? How do all of us do a better job with that education? And Dr. Voytek, I was pleased to read in your testimony about how astrobiology research has benefited everyday lives, and you talked about the technology used in the Deepwater Horizon accident. Also, there was a mention in the testimony about the Mars Curiosity rover and instrument analyzing art that can help with causes of deterioration of artwork. What are some of the ways that we can go out and convince a skeptical public that we should continue these investments? Please go ahead. And I'd like to hear from all of you briefly and allow time for one more question. Thank you.
Just very briefly, I often discuss our advances and our approach to astrobiology and our big questions as the search for a cure for cancer. It's a big, extremely important question. It's research that has to be done. And even though we've made tremendous progress, we haven't yet cured cancer, and we haven't yet found the origin for life on this planet or life elsewhere. But I think in the process, we have learned even more about ourselves that have led to other improvements in biotechnology and biomedicine. And the same is true for astrobiology because of the types of questions that we ask. And so in addition to the examples that you gave, we also have people working in synthetic biology that have come up with new rapid technology for rapid detection of HIV and hepatitis viruses. So there's a lot of advances in biotechnology. Our discoveries have revolutionized and made it possible for people to sequence the human genome. So there have been a lot of big payoffs as we move towards answering these very big questions.
Thank you so much. Dr. Seager and Dr. Dick, briefly.
I'll be brief. I think we need to keep hitting home the message that pure science leads to so many things, like the laser, like the human genome, and we need to make that as clear as possible to as many people as possible.
Thank you. Dr. Dick?
Yes, I've actually edited a volume called Societal Impact of Spaceflight, which I recommend to you, and another one will be coming out soon. There's a lot of talk often about spin-offs, but it's not just the spin-offs that you've heard here and other places. It's also the satellite, the navigational satellites, reconnaissance satellites, weather satellites, communication satellites. All of those, of course, would not have happened without the ability to go into space. And then finally, I would say also I find that going around the country, people are very interested in how we fit in what our place is in the universe, and that space exploration helps to solve that.
Terrific. And I want to follow up on some of the comments that have been made about inspiring and educating the next generation. And I know we've heard inspiration used a lot here today, and being bold. And I know Mr. Hall mentioned Dr. Seager, your comment about the skilled workforce on the forefront of technology. How do we continue to engage young people, especially at a young age? And I think if you looked at the panel today, most people would think that two-thirds of the women, two-thirds of scientists are women, which is, of course, not, not the case. Yeah. So how do we continue to get young people involved? Can you recommend any changes to, I'm also on the education committee, any changes to STEM education, efforts to maximize students' interest? We're talking about things like incorporating arts and design, more hands-on learning. Do you have suggestions about how we can engage more students in STEM education? Dr. Seager, I'd like to start with you.
This is such a huge topic, it would be impossible for me to articulate all my thoughts, in the time that we have. So I may just say I'd be happy to talk to you about it at another point. It's a big thing, and we really need to do something new and different.
Thank you.
I'll just say that all children are born curious about the world, and somehow that ends up getting squashed out of them. And so we really have a problem.
Thank you. I will definitely follow up. Dr. Voytek.
I just want to say one thing, and I think Sara would agree with me, is that it's extremely important to start as young as possible. If you wait to bring science and technology to students that are in high school or college or even junior high, you've already missed incredible opportunities to develop their interest, their curiosity, and set them on the path in those sorts of careers.
Yeah, I will just add one more thing. Children, we all know we're all one at some point. They love dinosaurs. Often children love space and planets, and we just need to keep that alive and do a better job at it.
Thank you. Dr. Dick.
A very specific recommendation would be more curriculum development. There are a few curricula on life in the universe which, you know, it pulls in everything. One of the great things about astrobiology, astronomy, biology, chemistry, you can talk about almost anything. And the development of specific curriculum that could be used in the schools, I think, would be a very good way to start.
Thank you so much. I see my time has expired. I yield back. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.